If people know about this, then they would do something about it, and that would change lives of people around them.
Hello and welcome. My name is Kavya Singh and this is For Loving You.
This series is going to be about the work that I've done with children so far. I am still not sure about the language that I want to use here. Who is really going to be my audience? I'm hoping adults. I'm hoping people who are responsible for other people eventually become the audience of this channel. It is because I am going to be sharing my insights and learnings, maybe just some experiences of having worked with children. So I used to work at a juvenile center. I use the word juvenile center a lot because that's what people have heard. It is actually called a childcare institution. I am not going to be sharing any identities of the children. So I'm not working there anymore, but I thought it would be really helpful, not just for the audience, but also for myself. If I take out time to actually sit and think about the work that I've done, the children that I've met, the lives that have touched me. And while I'm doing it, so I'm just also recording it and I'm going to be sharing it with you guys, hoping that it would also give you something meaningful. I know there were so many things that I just wanted to tell other people. So many times I would meet a girl, I would talk to them, and I would feel people need to know about this. Because if people know about this, then they would do something about it, and that would change lives of people around them, which is the main purpose of this series. Yeah, so I think that's in place. I'm gonna start with talking about this one day where I have called this child in for counseling. It's a huge office, there are several tables. Since it's with children and since it's with institutionalized children, the standards of counseling setting is not very, you could say, according to the books. It's a huge office with several tables, and we have 2 tables for counseling in one room. There were also other kids in the room who were working on a project, trying to make a wheel out of woods or out of maybe cardboard or something. And this guy was just taking it outside of the room. He wasn't even looking at her. He was just passing by, and this girl came in and just took that project from him, really curious about what's going on. Oh, show me what you made. Oh, this is so beautiful. And she just started having a conversation with him. And that's not normal. Whenever you're talking to somebody new, even if you're really excited about something, you don't immediately go and take that thing. You don't stand that close to a person. You don't take anything from their hand unless they are giving it to you. You ask for it sometimes. Sometimes when you see something really unique or different and you feel excited about it, you feel curious about it, you ask them questions. Oh, what is that? But this girl immediately just took it from his hand, and I knew it was something. And eventually, I went on to learn that this girl was brought up in very difficult circumstances. I think I'm saying difficult because they were underprivileged financially, academically. She had been living with her mother and maternal grandmother. She did not have her mother looking after her. She did not have a very, you could say, she did not have very deep attachment with her mother. She was just not able to talk about her experience with her mother, any incident with her mother. When children share about their stories with just experiences, just how they are missing their parents, missing their family, they want to share about incidences that they're missing, memories that they're thinking about. But it was different with this girl. She was just not able to share one experience or one incident or just any memory with her mother. That was interesting to me. And then I learned that this girl was not brought up with a full-time caregiver. So she did not have one caregiver looking after her consistently. After learning this, I think it all started making sense. So there's a term for this. It's Disinhibited Social Engagement Disorder. It comes under trauma and stressor related disorders. This is most commonly seen with children with very neglected childhood, where they just could not make an attachment with one primary caregiver. So they don't really know who to choose, who to trust, because they never had that one close attachment with anybody. So they end up feeling confused about who to trust or who to not trust. And how this would show is that they would just be open to trusting anybody. They would just be as frank with a stranger as they would with a relative, which is risky. Our hesitance with new people protects us from harm, physical harm, emotional harm, social harm. The way that we are close to our family, way that we talk to them, the information that we share with them, intimacy that we share with them is different, and that's a good different. It is a safe different. So I will tell you the symptoms of this disorder. Excessively familiar physical and verbal behavior with unfamiliar adults, lack of checking in with parents or caregivers, the lack of social boundaries, minimal inhibition around strangers, and willingness to go with strangers without any hesitation. So if somebody is calling you, you just go with it, which is not normal and not safe, especially for children. This can lead to a lot of risky behavior, leading to difficult consequences. How does a child develop these symptoms? When they are neglected as a child, when they don't know who to go to when they are in need of something. Caregivers keep changing. This also happens with children who are born and raised up in institutions or have been in a lot of foster homes, etc. When you don't have set of people, which usually should be one or two, primary caregivers who you know that you can go to whenever you have a need, is when you develop attachment and a sense of security. When you don't have that one person to trust, you don't know how to get your needs met. So you ask everybody with the same intensity and hope that your needs might be met here. And that's how you develop these symptoms. So, what really happens when you are diagnosed with disinhibited social engagement disorder? I went through this one research paper that I'm going to share about. I will share the link of the research paper in the description below. So, here they picked children from several Romanian childcare institutions who were placed with families later, and they were checked for symptoms for disinhibited social engagement disorder. I'm gonna call that DSED from now onwards. So they found out, okay, these set of children were showing the symptoms and tried to measure what areas of life were affected by that and for how long. They started interviewing the caregivers, taking notes from what the caregivers are saying about the children, and made the conclusions based on that. So they checked for several areas, some 7 areas, including family relation, academic performance, physical health, mental health, substance use, and risk-taking behavior. And they noticed that children who had the symptoms had difficulty under at least 6 of these areas. The most difficulty that they had was with risk-taking behavior and academic performance. What they also noticed that sometimes the symptoms would reduce when you have consistent caregiver in your early childhood. And these children did better socially upon the age of 12, which was the final stage of this exploration. But they saw a lot of improvement in their family relationships, which is a ray of hope that upon receiving intentioned care, consistency in parenting and caregiving, the children do improve. They do experience a better life. What I got from this experience is the understanding or a very tiny peek into how important intentional consistency in parenting is, how difficult it can be, how magnificently it impacts the lives of the children later in being themselves, in conducting themselves. It can become so difficult when you don't have a primary caregiver that you can trust. We also learned from this episode, even if, let's say, somebody does not have a biological parent to take care of them, maybe for the first few months of their lives they did not have a consistent caregiver, but once they do, it does improve the signs of DSED and also their eventual social behavior. So this episode was intention to raise awareness about the deep impacts of neglect in parenting or inconsistent parenting, not having a trustful caregiver. See you in the next episode.